Harlingen CISD, it's time for SuperTalks. Be a part of the journey to inspire, engage, and empower.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to the SuperTalks. Very happy to be here with our wonderful mayor, Damon. This is a special one. We have Mayor Norma Sepulveda with us, and I know that she's an alumni. She's went to elementary, to middle school, to high school. She went to law school. She was a teacher. We're going to hear all about that. But what are your thoughts and what are your questions for our mayor as we get going?
Excited to have you here on our show, and thank you for taking out time out of your really, really busy schedule in order to come here and talk to us and give us your points of wisdom and your vision for where we're headed as a city. I wanted to ask you, how did you decide to run for mayor, and kind of what has been your journey? I know you've been a pillar in this community for a long time, and it's always interesting to me on how you go from being a part of the community to then serving the community that you've been a part of. So kind of give us a little bit about your journey.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. It's really exciting knowing that I'm one of many that have been on this show. I'm going to have to go back and watch them all. This is really interesting. I think it gives the community an opportunity to meet the leaders in our community and people that have really just been, pivotal, right? In when it comes to the history and everything that we have to offer here in Harlingen, and having an opportunity to kind of just get to know who the person is and not just the persona, I guess. Exactly. And so I think that's wonderful. So thank you for having me. My journey, I get this question all the time. Well, why did you run, or what made you run? And I think when I after reflecting, for quite a long time on different responses to this type of question, I've learned in talking to others and asking them the same question, why did you run? I think for women, sometimes when I talk to women, when they run, it's for a reason, right? Something happened to them personally. They wanted to make some type of impact or change. And when I ask men, they're like, oh, well, my dad was he was on the commission, or he was a state rep, and it was just kind of, part of a family tradition. And that's usually what I see. And you see generations of folks that are in the political arena, and it just comes natural. For me, I would never, I did not have the resume set up to run for office, so it was something different for me. But like you said, this is my hometown. This is my community. I love Harlingen. I'm all about Harlingen. And I got to a point in my life where I felt that our government was disconnected with the people, right? And so when I had an issue of my own and having to navigate City Hall, I was like, this is complicated, It shouldn't be so difficult if you want, if whether it be improvements that you're trying to do in your home, or opening a small business, or just, who's my commissioner? Those types of things, should be rather, easily accessible. And I felt that if I was having a hard time, and I'm an educated person, I feel like, and I've lived here my whole life, and I don't know how to navigate the system. And, it must be like that for everyone else. And so that's when I decided, you know what, if I'm finding all these issues and concerns, and instead of venting and, making it a problem, why not create a solution for it? And so I thought, maybe I'll do this.
Absolutely.
And I will say, Mayor, you've done a tremendous job. I know that you're very big on bringing businesses to the community. Yes. You're very big on the relationship that we have, the school district and the city. And I will say that we love working with you. You're progressive. You think big picture. You're a great role model for all of our students. And there's a lot of students that are going to watch the SuperTalks, and they're going to see you. And some may have a dream of being an attorney. Some may have a dream of being a politician. Before you give advice on that, what was your pathway? What elementary did you go to? What high school? Where'd you graduate from? And then we'll get into college and all of those things.
So I've just, I like I said, born and raised here in Harlingen. I went to elementary in Treasure Hills Elementary, and so I've gone back to talk there at that school, and that was kind of cool, and there were some teachers that I think they're still there, and I thought, wow, that's amazing, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it's been a while, right? And so I went to Treasure Hills, and then middle school, I had a different journey. I moved around a lot, and so I went to Coakley and I went to Vernon. I didn't go to, at the time, I guess it was still already Memorial, and it was gay before, but I didn't go to Memorial. So then I went to Coakley, then I went to Vernon, 8th grade. And then Gano, well, there was no Gano, there was Alamo. And so Alamo was the campus where South is, and that was 9th and 10th. And then you'd go to the campus, right, which was the Cardinal land, and you'd go, and that would be your junior and your senior year. And so I really had an opportunity to go to all of them. And now we have these two wonderful schools that are just killing it, right, when it comes to the, looking at the Harlingen School District having two very strong high schools in comparison to other communities for a long time. And if you ask my husband, he'll always say, that we had the best football back then because you only have one team. And now you've got two great teams, but, you've got them, spread out in the city. And so it was just a different time back then. But that was my route. I never, ever envisioned that I would, I didn't know, and I have such great respect for the students that HCISD is putting out right now. I've done so many, I get asked to speak at different events with young leaders. The Junior League just recently had a leadership conference, and I'm in front of these young girls that are teenagers, and they already know what they want to do with their lives. When I was 16, 17, 15, I was just, I wanted to go hang out at the mall and do things that I just didn't have that mindset. But I think that this generation of students, they're the leaders of tomorrow, and it's incumbent upon us, right, to ensure that they're armed with the know-how and the drive and the motivation to reach their potential, because they're sharp. They just need that extra little push, and for them to know that they're supported and that they can get it done, because that I am confident that the students that we have today are going to be the leaders, whether it be at the White House or in all different areas when it comes to medicine and all of these, different emerging industries that we don't even know about. Right. Those leaders are going to come from this school district.
And I think that's the power of your story. And to all the students out there, you just heard our mayor, and she talked about the pathway she went through, and it's very similar to the path that you're on right now. So whatever that dream is, you got to go out there and chase it and be resilient and have that grit and do all the things necessary. But I was thinking from a father's perspective. I have a little boy who's in 4th grade. My little girl's in 5th grade. My oldest son's in 6th grade. And obviously, as a parent, I want them all to be successful. I want them all to go out into the world. But specifically, I think the power for girls to see that we have a mayor that's representing us, and that maybe my little girl wants to be mayor one day. So what advice do you have for little girls out there?
And I hope so. And we're going to keep reminding the young girls that we need them in leadership roles. Mm-hmm. When you look at local governments throughout the country, I want to say it's about 30% are women in local governments. So your city commission, mayors, and the number tends to be a little higher on smaller communities like Hebronville. Mm-hmm. And I don't know who's out in Hebronville, but the studies show that population of under 10,000, there's more women involved. But then the population increases, and then you have, it's that 30% ratio. Mm-hmm. Then at the state level, when it comes to women and in whether it be in the House or the Senate, it's still roughly about 30%. But when you look at the population, we're about 50% of the population. So we're underrepresented. You don't have women at the table. You don't have women issues at the table. And it's not just having a seat at the table. It's also having a voice at the table. Right. So that is important. And I think, girls that are watching this, and I know because I talk to them. Oh, I'll be in another community, and they'll come up. Oh, you're the mayor of Harlingen, and so it's an awesome feeling, and I know it's a huge responsibility that I really take to heart, and I know that I have these young girls that are watching, and I want them to know that this is doable. That if I can do this, anyone can do it. And our goal is we always want the kids to do better than what we did, right? So whatever I'm doing, if I'm mayor, then you shouldn't be looking that you want to be mayor. What you want to do is you want to be in the state Senate, or you want to be in the House of Representatives. When you look at the political landscape, it is changing, and it's changing rapidly. We have at the state level. Morgan Lamantia, she's the first woman that is held that seat. You have Janie Lopez, she's the first woman that's held that seat. Erin Gomez, she's the first one that has held that seat. So it's telling you that I think that the community is ready for that change. Yeah. When you have women at the table, they bring a different perspective. You know, I always say, as a mom, my kids are at the center of my world. So any choice that I make, their future and how this impacts them impacts my decision. Yeah. And you're only going to get that when you bring those different perspectives to the table.
Well, I can't wait for you to meet my Samantha Isabella. I mean, she's my world, man. And I think, you know, as a father, you know, that I mean, we hope that we're in a situation where we're not on God's green earth anymore, and they're here, that they're able to power through the ups and downs of life. They're able to get to reach their goals, their dreams, and to be independent. Right. And you know, I want that for my boys too. And we're talking girls here, but to all the boys and girls out there right now, we want to put you in a position to excel. But we have a unique situation where our mayor is the first female mayor in the history of this city. And then also to couple that, you're also a very successful attorney. So that is something that's just, I mean, you just couple that, and I mean, what dad doesn't want their little girl to go out and do that? So I would imagine that your dad is very proud of you, and that your parents, your family, and I just want to commend you for breaking down barriers and just giving people hope. And it's just such an inspirational story, and it's just something that, and I know a lot of times in a position like yours, you don't get a lot of thank yous, and it could be a lonely position. But I did want to take this opportunity to let you know that there are community members that see you for what you are and what you do, and we're very proud of you. What do you think, Demond?
I wondered, what has been your best day as mayor so far?
You know, there have been so many days. I never realized how rewarding this position would be. But, you know, I'll tell you just a couple of stories. I know we only have a little bit of time, but, you know, I've never really understood the role of local government. I mean, I know how you learn what you learn in school, and just being a citizen of the community. You know who your mayor is. You know what their function is. You know who to call if they don't pick up your garbage. You know those things, but you don't really truly know until you're in it. Mm-hmm. And I say this because I get phone calls and messages and emails and even some folks that have showed up at my house and with questions and concerns that I never thought that I would touch, and it's interesting, but I do feel it makes me feel good knowing that I apparently am accessible for people to be reaching out to me, and sometimes I have to redirect them, and that's what I'll do. But one of the things that really is more of a highlight so far in this journey of mine has been the ability to impact families and having life-altering moments for them, and being able to participate and just watch how it is impacting them. And one of those was we have a program within the city government that helps families in need. And so we get grant money, right? And that grant money is very competitive. And every year municipalities are getting less and less and less. And so cities are having to decide how they're going to utilize those funds. And so last year we were able to rebuild 2 homes here in the city of Harlingen for families that were in need, and their houses were in disrepair, whether, flood issues, just health and safety issues within their homes. And these are, one was an elderly couple, and then the other one was a family with, kids that are my age. Mm-hmm. And they told, the city of Harlingen, through this grant money, was able to demolish to the ground these homes and rebuild them and give them basically. Wow. I had the opportunity to hand over the keys to a new home and change someone's life. Like, that is an awesome feeling. So no matter what those challenges that we have, and there's some good days and there's some bad days, I remember that feeling that I had when I gave the keys to this family, and they're in tears. They're thanking us for what we were able to do. In one family, one of the kids told me, this is our first time that I have my own room. Oh man. And the other family, they were all sharing one closet. And you think like, oh, I need more closet space. And I don't know about you, but in my household, my husband takes half the closet. I'm like, what's going on? But then you have family that are sharing one closet for the whole family, And so it's things like that remind me of the importance of local government. You always hear that local government is the closest to the people. And that is the reason, because it really is. You're not going to see the president. You're not going to see, most likely, your congressman at HEB, but you're going to see me. You're going to see the commissioners.
And we thank you for that. And I know for me in our school board, we're just blessed because we have such a good working relationship with the city. And I think that the recent MOU that we signed with Harlingen, with the PD, and how you're working with us to keep our schools safe, and what we did with the It's Time Texas Challenge and that video we put together. And it kind of just shows that we're all in this together. And we know that as a school district, we have to provide a world-class education to our students, because that helps the city, because you can bring business in and all these people that are bringing their children, and they want to bring their children to quality schools. And just wanted you to know that we're committed to doing that. And we look forward to more partnerships as we move into the future. But more than anything, just thank you for this style that you've brought. It's just it's new, it's fresh, it's one in which I believe the city's going to go to the next level with business, and just this more progressive approach to making sure that the city just continues to shine. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and the city feels the same way. We are so excited that we have this strong relationship with HCISD. I think that you, Dr. Gonzalez, I don't think you give yourself enough credit, but there's a chatter around town that there's a new superintendent and that he's doing amazing work. And so we are so fortunate to have you. Our kids are fortunate, the community is, and I know together we are going to take the city to the next level. And to your point, where the city is growing, I just want to share a little bit of highlights if I can.
Absolutely.
When I came into office, there was one thing I wanted, and that was change and growth, right? Because you can't have one without the other.
True.
And so that was my priority. So I sat down with city staff, which I'm sure that you did, and said, hey, I want to know everything. So you sit back, you listen, you learn, you absorb, and then you get to work. So that's what we did. And so in our first fiscal year, like my first year in office, we were able to get to a point where we surpassed building construction like ever for the city of Harlingen. I think that in 2012 they had a high of I want to say maybe 120 million, something around there, 116 million. That was like the highest in value of construction at that time. Last year, we were at 176 million, which surpassed any other, goals or bars that the city had imposed on themselves. Because that's how you measure, right? You want to know, okay, well, we've got these building permits for construction. What's the value? So last year was 176 million, and this year in the first quarter, we've already passed 66 million. So we are going to surpass what happened last year, and that is by bringing developers to the table, bringing big business and local businesses to the table. You have to be able to Harlingen has to have a voice at the regional level, at the state level, and at the federal level, not just to have those conversations, but to bring those dollars to our community. And that's how we get that done. And I'm just so proud of our city staff for, we have a small but mighty team in the permitting department. Right. And so it's that same team that was working on, $100 million of new construction. And now I'm telling them, hey, now we're going to do almost double. And so we're adding members to that team. But, Harlingen, we are in a trajectory to surpass those numbers from last year and saving money at the same time, which is incredible. We've got some really good people that are working for us, and I think that the community is going to be really excited about what we got coming on here in the near future.
Well, congratulations, and we're right on track with that as a school district. We're pushing hard to provide a quality education for students. So this progressive approach, the city growing and thriving, and simultaneously, taking this district to greater heights. I think that chemistry right there is going to going to create the magic that's necessary to move the city forward. So I did want to thank you. But I know that for you, Mayor, a lot of it is giving to the community. A lot of it is giving of your time. A lot of it is giving of everything from your heart and soul to make sure the city is thriving. But from your perspective, I mean, you've done a lot in a short time with regard to your career. Who's your hero?
You think about when you look at most people, right? Their heroes are someone that are so, that they idolize or they want to emulate, and someone that has maybe more than what they have, right? But to me, my hero has always been my mom. No matter what, and as a kid, as an adult. And now, she passed. I lost my mom in 2020, and I hadn't had a chance to share that. But, if you lose a parent, I think it changes you. You're as a person. You're just not the same after that. And I was very fortunate to have a good, wonderful relationship with my mom, and I have wonderful memories, but still. The loss, I think only other folks that have had a parent and have lost them, whether it's expected or unexpected, it just does something to you. I mean, it breaks you to your core to where once you're able to build back up, you can never go back to that place again. So no matter what happens in your life, you've already gone through the worst, that everything just almost seems easier. It's just an interesting, place. But my mom, she was a beautiful person. I didn't get the green eyes and the beauty that my mom had, but, more than just exterior, it was what was inside. She's just a woman of faith, a compassionate person, someone that cared about others. She was very, very, very. Just to kind of give you an idea, I was in law school, my first year of law school, and I moved from here to, I'm in Houston, and my mom never wanted to bother me because she's like, oh no, you can't. No, don't call me hon, because she's studying, right? She always thought I was studying, no matter what, right? She's studying. I'm like, so don't call her, don't bother her. But I was very upset because my family that was here didn't tell me that her health was deteriorating. And so, they always want to protect you, right? No matter what.
Exactly.
They always want to protect you. And so I'm in school, and law school is different, and nobody teaches, nobody tells you how, you go through undergrad, graduate, and all your training that you receive in terms of an education. Law school just really humbles you, because you just, they're like, they do this thing called the Socratic method. I don't know if you've learned, but it's not, you always got to be on top of your game. So you're studying, you're listening, you're reading constantly, and then we had, in my school, comprehensive exams, so you don't get any grades during the year. So you don't know whether you're going to pass or fail, and then it's on a curve. So if you got lots of smart kids, then you better be smart too, And you're lucky if you get a class that maybe they're not so, and you're at the top. But anyhow, so you don't know. So you got to work really hard. So comprehensive exams, my first year, determines whether you curve out, you get to stay and come back the next year. And I was on a scholarship, so I didn't have any money. So it's like I had to be top 10%, or I'd have to pay for my tuition. So super, super, super important for me to excel, not to just do well, to do the best that I could. And so my mom was over here, and her health was deteriorating, and she was scheduled to have triple bypass surgery, and my family didn't want to tell me. So of course I was upset, So I said, what do you mean? They're like, well, you're in school. Mom didn't want us to tell you. So, well, that's not your choice, So I came down here to be with my mom, and I knew that I had comprehensive exams that I needed to study for, but I knew that it was more important to be here with family. So when I get to the hospital to talk to my mom, she's like, why are you here? I said, hey, I'm here because you need me. She's like, I need you to be
there.
you know, to be doing your thing, you know, because that's what this is about. You know, we always want more for your kids. But that day when I got to the hospital and I talked to her, I told her I'm not leaving because I would rather be here with you than finish law school. Like, that's just the way it was. But it taught me something sitting in that room when she, you know, I was there studying. I stayed in her room. I studied for my exams in her room. And then she went for the surgery. I stayed there and I studied. And I don't know what happened, but I think it was, God's intervention. I don't know what those beliefs are, but I not only stayed there, spent the time with my mom, studied for my exams, went back to school, and I just knocked it out of the park.
Wow.
All of my I don't know what happened, but I think it was her because she told me, I know that everything's going to be okay. So she was still, trying to console me, trying to take care of me. And it was like that every step of the way. Her health continued to decline, which is one of the reasons why I came back after I graduated. But, she'd be in a hospital room in pain, and she'd be praying for everybody in that hall, and it takes a special kind of person to be in pain and to be praying for others. And so I always think about that and think about everything that she went through. And if she can go through that and still care and be more concerned about the well-being of everyone else around her, even though she was the one that was most in need, then that's a high bar. Yeah. And I just look to her for strength and to be able to face the challenges that I have.
That's powerful. And I think that, and I know somebody out there is dealing with that right now. I know Demond, your dad is dealing with heart issues right now, and there's people out there that are dealing with that. And that's what I love about the SuperTalks is you're a mayor, you're an attorney, you're successful, but it's these little nuggets, these little stories that without this platform, people would have never known about our mayor. Yeah. And it kind of sheds light on where your heart is, and not only you're a powerhouse attorney and one of the best mayors in the country, in my opinion, but you're also somebody's daughter, somebody's wife, somebody's sister, and I think that, we can't forget that. We definitely can't take our mayor for granted because she's a rock star.
Yeah.
Demond, anything as we close? I know that the mayor's busy. We got to let her get back to her schedule. Is there anything that we want to wrap it up with, or any question that you want to ask?
I just wanted to say, are there any final words that you have for the community, for the world, for your family? Anything else that you wanted to say before we wrap everything up?
Yeah, of course. I tell you, don't give the lawyer the mic, right? But I will say this, on a more, I know that was a little somber, but on a little higher note is one thing that I like about this role is my kids, right? They look at it and they're like, wow, my mom's a mayor. Yeah. And my son's got this cool thing that he's coined this term, mayor mode. Mom, go on mayor mode, right? And I said, well, what is that? He's like, you're always helping people. Can you do mayor mode? So I took him over to Quinn's. I don't know if you've been to the comic store. He loves it. It's over there by Lax. If you haven't gone, go. It's a unique store. It's super cool. And so when we're leaving, he's like, Mom, can you go on mayor mode and give Quinn a bigger store? We need them to have more. I was like, this kid, he's looking at, of course it's a little selfish on his part, but he cares about the small businesses too. And so that's been something, really neat for me. And of course, so I know that my kids will watch this. So I want to give a shout out to my son, Evan, and little Eric. And of course, my husband, that all the things that I do, I could not do it. They are my support system. They are my rock. As it's hard to raise a family. My heart goes out to all of those. I know we got a lot of single moms in our community, or single dads too. Those are the real rock stars because it takes a village. I could not do it without the support system that I have in my within my family, my sister, my neighbors. And other than that, I just want people to know that the city of Harlingen is open for business. And this is the place, all eyes on South Texas, in our region, and specifically in Harlingen. We have a lot of things coming up that I can't really reveal that, you know how it works, behind the scenes things are moving, but the Harlingen that you see today will not be the same Harlingen that you see. And I'm not going to say 10 years, 20 years. I'm saying 3 years, right? And 3 years from now, you are going to be blown away by the explosive growth within our community. We are all on board. We're rocking and rolling, and we're going to get it done. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Absolutely.
And it's awesome.
And do you also want to tell us too about an It's Time Texas competition as well?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
I can tell you that the city of Harlingen and the school district, we are working hand in hand. We need everyone, and that this is all hands on deck to participate. The It's Time Texas Challenge, last year we came out second, and right now we are second again. And I don't like to lose. I like to win. If you look at anything that I've participated in, I don't want to just participate. I want to win, and we cannot. But the problem is with It's Time Texas, it's not just Norma. It's not just me. It's not just Dr. Gonzalez. We need all the teachers. We need all the students. We need the parents. We need everyone involved. And to download the It's Time Texas application on their Android phone or the iPhone. And it's super, super important, because I'm going to go back and look to make sure that you did it, that you list City of Harlingen as your community. As simple as, a meditation or, anything counts. And so we want everybody to download the app, want everybody to also participate in the Harlingen Marathon. If you haven't ran the marathon, I don't know if you...
I'm not a marathon guy, but I can try.
But you can do a 5K.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can do 5K. Yeah, there you go.
I can do 5K right now. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so right after this, I can't even walk, but I'll do it. No, but anyhow, the Harlingen Marathon is a great opportunity to get more points, right, and participate in that. It is a phenomenal marathon. I just got notification, I think it was last week, I got a message that we had some participants from the UK that signed up to run the Harlingen Marathon. We got a ton of people from across the border too that join us, and so that's a great opportunity. Bring out the family and just get out and get active. I know you're all about this, the holistic, teacher and student, and you got to work on yourself, and your health is paramount. If you can't take care of your body, there's no way that you can perform. We want employees that are going to show up to work, and they aren't going to show up to work if they're sick, and they need to take care of their health in order to be productive, not just in the workplace, but at home, and live long, happy lives. And this is an opportunity to change those habits, those behaviors, and get down to on that path of being well.
Well, there you go, Mayor. As always, it's always a joy spending time with you. You're just a wonderful person. I want to thank you on behalf of the entire school district and our board. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the city commission and just the partnership, and we look forward to many more great things working as a team. And your whole deal about what's going to happen in the next 3 years got me amped, so I can't wait to see it. So hope you all enjoyed the show and have a wonderful day.